It's Wednesday the 21st at 3:31. I appreciate everybody being here. This is a meeting of certified PPC. We have several items there. I did put all the policy updates as one action item, but if anybody wants to break one of those out, just tell us. We can break one out and you can vote on it separately if that's what you want to do. Otherwise, we'll start with 2.1, the approval of minutes. So you have minutes in your packet.
A motion that we suspend the reading of minutes and approve them as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, action item 3.1. This is the policy updates. We'll just kind of highlight real quick what's in each one, and then if you have questions as we go through, please stop us and we'll take a look at it. 3.1 is the licensed personnel employment. This is the one that you'll see there on the first page or on page 5 of your packet, that it changes it from there are no more waivers on a licensure plan anymore. There's now a teacher licensure plan, a TLP. So all the long-term sub and the alternative license, all that is now stuffed into one licensure plan, and it has a little bit more control at the district level. So, and again, just a reminder, all of these are to adhere to state law more than anything else. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I printed it on 2 pages. So page 8, licensed personnel evaluations. The state has removed or changed the definition of novice teacher. And so they've taken out the probationary stuff. So that is in there as well. Let me see. Make sure I'm not missing anything. This actual change does not necessarily require PPC approval, but figure it's in personnel policy. It's just a good practice to have you all look at it and kind of stamp it a little bit. 3.10, which is page 12. That's the contract return. This is the one that we've already implemented in practice. It says that teachers have until May 15th, or if May 15th is on a Saturday or falls on a weekend, the Friday before May 15th, to get out of their contract, I believe with a written notification. All right, so basically it doesn't matter when you get your contract. You know, it could be in January every year. You sign it, you have until May 15th or the Friday before May 15th, if that's on a weekend, to say, nope, I'm out, I'm going somewhere else, right? And so that was a change there. 3.12 was the licensed personnel employee training. It changes some definitions there. The training required for coaches was updated to account for changes. Behavioral interventions were updated. So it just kind of gives a little bit of flexibility to some different things in there. Changes school district support plan to strategic plan. That's the AR app. I don't know if you guys hear a lot about that, but that's sort of what that is. And then it takes out a lot of that other language. Just changes some wording on page 18 and 19. Page 21, I will highlight the state removed the language around PBIS and have substituted language around multi-tiered systems of support. Okay, and the language or the discussion was, while PBIS is a type of multi-tiered behavioral intervention, right? It's not the only one. And so the state wanted to provide flexibility to schools and districts to be able to say, okay, PBIS isn't meeting our needs, but this one over here does. Under previous law, you couldn't say that. Okay. It also includes artificial intelligence as something that teachers need to be trained on. And it talks a little bit about how PD counts where. It also, page 24, adds the law that was recently added to that. 3.21, this is the licensed personnel tobacco products. Basically, it says that if you confiscate a kid's vape and then lose it, you can't be held liable. Okay? Similar language to what's in the cell phone bill, right? If you confiscate a kid's cell phone and then it gets lost, you can't be held liable. School can't be held liable. So it's kind of the same language there. 3.27 is your teacher's responsibilities when it comes to bullying. So it changes some language there a little bit. Let's see if there's anything I'm missing on that one. Nope. Okay. It also, page 29, it allows us to, if there's multiple investigations around the same bullying or the same behavior, same kid, we can lump all those into one investigation now. So, or adult as well. I mean, it's kind of same mechanism. 3.32, drug-free workplace. Just an update on where services can be provided at or from. 3.43, this is a new, in essence, kind of an updated law where if a teacher removes a kid from their class, if they're like, okay, you're gone, get out kind of thing. Not a great strategy, by the way. But if it happens, then there are some specific rules and responsibilities for adults prior to that kiddo coming back into class. Now, there are some, it very clearly says that none of this trumps IEPs 504s, but, beyond that, it talks about a conference will be held and who has to be at the conference and when that conference needs to be held by and where that kid can be prior to the conference, right? Because he's got to be somewhere. So what does that look like? It spells that out in a lot of that. 3.56. I'm going ahead and proposing that we adapt this policy now. There's a new law that says by 27-28, I believe it is, schools will have to place audio recording devices in all locker rooms, changing areas. I'm adding bathrooms because that's going to happen the next round. They're just going to add it back in for bathrooms. They left it out this time. So I'm going ahead and advocating that we add the line that talks about the board authorizes placement and use of audio-only recording devices in each locker room, changing room, or bathroom as required by blah, blah, ACA. You see it there, no later than the 27-28 school year. Once we get them in, then we'll change that and take out the 27-28 school year, right? And then we add audio recordings to the other things that are addressed on the handbook, and you can see that there. I mean, I don't need to read all that to you, so. 3.57, okay, this is probably the biggest one, I think, out of the term, is this is the maternity leave policy. I'm advocating that we also add paternity to that for a couple of different reasons. The primary one is I don't want to get sued for sex discrimination, right? If we provide something to females we don't provide to males, that's an issue. Conversely, if we provide something to males that we don't provide to females, that's an issue, right? The state is only paying, in essence, well, they're not. They are reimbursing the district for sub-costs of females only, okay? So this could get expensive, right? In essence, you take $125 a day multiplied by 5 days by 12 weeks, and that tells you how much per employee, male employee, we're going to be out, right? But I think it's the right thing to do, and I think it's the best thing to do. Not sure how many, typically males don't take 12 weeks, but they'll have the ability to do that. I tell you that because I tell you the cost side because again, all of that is unfunded mandates that comes out of our operating account, which is our salaries and benefits and all that stuff. So just know that that's out there as well. This is also a new one, 3.58, artificial intelligence. Basically, this kind of talks about the expectations around AI. It was, it doesn't really matter. Act 848 is what it aligns to, but basically what it does is it kind of gives you some definitions on what AI is, how you would use AI tools in the classroom, basically what you can and what you can't do with it, those kind of things. So that would be one thing to keep in mind. We do have, I don't know if you know, some of you may be in it, but we have an AI pilot that we've been doing for the last few weeks on literacy and math. That I've gotten good feedback on it. I hope it's helpful. I don't know. That kind of stuff has been helpful to me in the last year, so hopefully it's helping in the classroom as well. Last one, 3.59. This was also a big topic in the legislature this year, and that is the prevention of anti-Semitism. And so we now have a policy on what is prohibited, what are examples of actions that may constitute anti-Semitism, and the policy now indicates don't do those things. And it basically puts anti-Semitism under the Title IX coordinator for the district. Any questions on any of that?
One question.
Yes, ma'am.
On the maternity leave, it says they have to be working here for a year.
Uh-huh.
So like if they're getting in the middle of the year and they won't get that. They have to have been on contract for a year. Like if they're new to us next year, Right.
and they need that maternity leave in that school year, they're not eligible.
Okay.
They would have to roll over to the next year to be eligible.
Okay.
The other thing is that the way it works is if you have a married couple working in the district and they both want to take maternity, paternity leave, then they share the 12 weeks, right? So either they both get 6, or mom gets 10 and dad gets 2, or, mom gets 1 and dad gets 11. However you all would work that out amongst yourselves. So that'd probably be the other thing. Any other questions on any of that? Are we okay to vote on them as a block? All right, so.
I make a motion to approve the policy updates listed in action item 3.1.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries. Okay, the last thing is the athletic stipends. We've already seen this once, but Ms. Sutphen pointed out to me that for some reason choir was missing and esports was missing when we added the shooting sports. So I went back in, added those. I don't know why they were missing. It's not changing anything. It's the same stipend that it is this year. We're just putting it back in there. I thought about not necessarily bringing it back, but again, since the one that was originally or that was passed looks like they've been deleted, I think it's important to get them back on there, pass it, take it back to the board at the next either special or regular board meeting and get them to pass it as well. So, any questions? Just need a motion. You want to go 3 for 3?
Sure. I motion to approve the athletic stipends for next year.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries. Okay, is there anything else anybody wants to talk about? Then we would just need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
There you go.
Second.
Okay, motion meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.